17 and I go to Mill Creek High School. I want to start off by saying that I had a really tough childhood. I was very rebellious, and I know like it's kind of hard to believe, but like I was really bad. Like I lied, I stole, I never really listened to my parents. And then like whenever I would be given like a punishment, which would be like my phone taken away, it would just be like, oh, whatever, they took my phone. I never have one anyway, I don't have one now. As the years went by, oh, by the way, I grew up in Pennsylvania, and I moved down here in 6th grade. As the years went by, I started to calm down a little bit, and I was really reflecting on myself because I noticed now that, like, I'm getting older, and it's time to cut, like, all of the mess out. So I was also struggling with my sexual orientation, and I was confused, and I would tell like my parents that like I'm bisexual, and they wouldn't understand that. Like, I don't know if they do now, but they wouldn't understand like how it felt to me. And so I had started getting, I want to say, curious when I did have my phone, and I started looking things up online. And every time my parents would check my phone, they would see something on there and then take my phone. And like I said, it would just be whatever. I was never really, well, actually, when I was younger, I was close with my siblings. But like now, I'm really like not, and I need to work on that. But recently, my parents had allowed me to get a job, and I saved up my money to get a phone. And it was actually, this is gonna sound dumb, but it was actually my first iPhone. I've never had an iPhone. Everybody wants an iPhone. So I got the phone, and I started getting that feeling of curiosity again, and I actually downloaded an app to meet people. So while I had the app, I met this guy, and stupidly, I invited him over to my home without my parents' consent or without their permission. And that was a dumb choice. That wasn't a good choice at all. And they were on a trip, and it was like the weekend. I had invited the guy on Saturday, and it was the weekend, and they weren't coming back till Monday. So then in the morning, he came at night and then stayed in the morning till the morning, and my grandma had caught him when I was sneaking him out of my house, and she had told my parents before they had gotten back. And my dad, when he came back, he was really angry, and they weren't even there for like 20 minutes, and he came in with multiple things to inflict. I'm just gonna say pain on me, just different things, and he had hit me a couple of times, and I've been like beat in the past, but that's just normal for like my family. But it was like with the cord this time, and my mom had came in the room, and she was yelling at him and telling him to stop, and I had made my way out the door, and then he grabbed me and we just started fighting, and he made his way by getting me in the hallway floor and choking me, and I just wanted to get out the house. I didn't want to think about anything. I didn't want to think who was watching me. I had no clothes on, by the way. And I ran out the house, and um, I was seen by a neighbor, and she took me to these other neighbors that I know, and they took me to the hospital. And somehow, I guess because what I had described my pain and my bruises that I had gotten that day, they said that it was abuse, and they had contacted the police, and my dad was he was charged with child battery, and he was charged with multiple charges that I didn't know that would come up, and I never meant to make him go through that at all. Like I love my parents, but there's just something when I'm in the house, it's like we can't connect, and I stay in my room. I don't talk to anyone nowadays. I cut myself sometimes. After I had gotten caught and I came home, my dad wasn't allowed to come home to be with me because he just wasn't allowed. And I was cutting myself and banging my head on the wall, and I just kept thinking that it was my fault. And I know it was my fault because I had no right to. I wasn't never given the permission to bring that person inside of my house. And me and my parents, I'm just going to say this, me and my parents, we're not on the same level. They don't understand me sometimes, and sometimes I feel like that all I can do is stay in my room and just be by myself because no one will get it. They won't. I can't talk to my grandma. I can't talk to my dad. I can't talk to my mom because we're not on the same page. And there was one point, the first day I came back from the hospital, and I was banging my head against the mirror in our bathroom, and my mom was just telling me how my dad said that he forgives me and that it's okay. And that's all I wanted to hear. I just wanted to know that he was okay because I know that at the end of the day it was my fault. And sometimes, I don't know if I've built this in my head by myself, but sometimes I feel like I don't get the right attention from them because I'll be up in my room and then I come down and no one will say anything to me. Like I haven't been missing for hours. I get from school, I go up in my room and I stay there till dinner. I go back upstairs and go to sleep, and it's the same routine every day. Sometimes I can't I don't know what's going on because there's just so many thoughts in my head. I want to do suicide. I want to run away, but I don't because at the end of the day, I do know that my family loves me, and so my friend, her name is Ari, and she had told me about. I was already going to church with her, and she had told me about retreat, and I really wanted to go, mainly just because everyone was going. I've never been on a retreat before, and so I went, and I enjoyed it very much. But the most effective part there was the discussion groups. I felt like I was able to tell my group my pain and my struggles, and it just felt so good. It was group number 82. And Jeannie, she was actually the discussion group leader, and I thank God for her. So I just thank God for her. But I just wanted God to show me that someone was there and that someone is paying attention to me, because sometimes I feel like I don't get attention at all. And then when I the way I get attention at home is I lash out. Whenever someone talks to me, I act up. I do things that, like, just to see what my parents will say, just to get something out of them, because whenever they say something good to me, it doesn't seem real. It's not like, it just doesn't seem like it's real to me. And so during the Silent Covenant at retreat, I just was thinking, and I was like, I know I used to go to church. I used to go to church a lot with my grandma, but I would never go up when they would ask me or ask us all who were there, like, if we wanted to give our life to God or accept, like, come to Jesus. And during retreat, I actually came up, and I just felt amazing. I felt like I could do anything. And I just want to say that I'm so thankful to be here at this church. And before, I used to be able to come out and look happy, but have hurt and pain and guilt and suffering inside. But now, because of this church and things that I do here and the friends that I have, I'm really happy. And thank you.